Hey guys, Paul Morrow here again for Opsdesk.org, doing a big news recap for Tuesday, 24 June. Here we go. We're getting to the point where Israel-Iran may no longer be the lead story. Let's hope so, but for now, we're still going to go with it. Now, it looks like, what can we say? It looks like that the prediction we made last week was accurate. We advocated for Donald Trump to move, but we didn't want nation building. That does look like where we are right now. And in terms of when Donald Trump decided to pull a trigger, it looks like it was accurate to say he was waiting to make sure that the mission was going to be a total success. One of the things he was very, very leery of, clearly, is having one of our B-2 stealth bombers shot down over Iranian territory, leaving that technology in Iranian hands, which means it would have been in the hands of the Chinese and the Russians 2 days later. The other thing is he wanted to make sure that the retaliations from Iran were going to be handleable. And what I mean by that, and it just shows you how complex the job of the president is that he wanted to make sure Iranian missiles did not hit any American or NATO ally assets in and around the Middle East, especially in Baghdad, because the NATO mission in Iraq and MI is still ongoing in Baghdad, and you have German, French, Dutch, British troops in Baghdad. Donald Trump, as we speak, is at the NATO summit right now, trying to get the Europeans to up their commitment to 5% of their GDP for their militaries relative to the NATO contract. They want to up that. It would have been a very tough sell if he had to go in there and try to explain away soldiers who had been killed from those respective nations. So he was waiting for the Israelis to really clear a path. And when their intel and when our intel all agreed, okay, you have a safe corridor to go in with the B-2s, do what you got to do, and get out. There's question now about, first of all, it was legal, by the way. Don't listen to this War Powers Act stuff, all right? It's legal. Don't waste your time. But there's question now, even from some on the right, as to whether it was worth our return on investment. Hey, maybe it's set back only 2 years, 3 years, the Iranian nuclear program. That's not the point. First of all, think about what it would have been like not to do anything, as has been the default for administrations going backwards here. Obama sent them pallets of cash. That didn't work. But furthermore, what this demonstrated is not only we can do what we did, but we will do what we did. Now, will that always be the case going forward after Donald Trump? Who knows? But you got to be thinking, if you're Iran, we better stop messing with this nuclear stuff, because very clearly the resolve of the world is there, and Donald Trump has now shown it can be done, and the world doesn't come to an end. We don't have World War III. Let's hope it stays that way and it never gets necessary. Let's look at what the peace looks like from the quote-unquote 12-day war. All right, moving on. Story that's not getting any attention, I'm very surprised. In France, 145 people going to nationwide music festivals of some variety, nationwide France, get stuck with needles, syringes. And you're not hearing anything about this story, and I'm very suspect of it. So far, there are 12 arrests. The toxicology from the needle attacks, well, that's still pending, all right? It takes a little bit of time. They're taking blood samples. A lot of women, it was mostly women victims, have been taken to the hospital. Why are we not hearing who the perps are on that? I don't want to speculate till I know further, but I'm suspect of that. Keep an eye for that story. The other big story here in New York is the fact that New York has a foot in the water here, a toe in the water, relative to electing an outright, he's a communist, not a socialist. He calls other people on Twitter comrade and all this other stuff. Failed rapper Zohran Mamdani, as of now, is reportedly the favorite to win the New York City mayoral election. Now, New York City has not been in good shape for a while. 8 years of de Blasio and then another 4 of Adams, who did nothing, is realistically 12 years of just decrepitude. And now they're talking about putting this guy in. New York won't be able to handle it. It's their own fault here in New York. The Wall Street class allowed it. Read Charlie Gasparino's column in the New York Post. He calls them out. You've been allowing this, funding this, and you've been placating the far-left progressives for all this time. This is what happens, though, when you vote off of TikTok, they believe it. They're listening to his TikTok promises, and everybody under 30 is like, wow, look at that. I won't have to have our rent raised. The buses will be free. None of them realize that that's not how the real world works. And finally, I just want to allude to a story that I think you'll hear more about. The vice mayor of Cudahy in California, it's a city in LA County, Cynthia Gonzalez, calling for gangbangers to do battle with ICE. Let's see if she's arrestable. Paul Morrow for the Ops Desk.